Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
And we're going back 69 years to February 25th, 1953. Brian Donlevy, starring in Dangerous Assignments, Black Market in the Mediterranean. Steve Mitchell turning jewel thief in Nice, France, to track down a Mediterranean black market gang. And we thank you for tuning in on this TGI Friday edition of the program, 25th day of February, 56th day of the year, 309 days left until we get to 2023. George Washington holds the first cabinet meeting as president on this date in 1793. In 1836, Samuel Colt received a patent for the Colt revolver. The first electric printing press patented on this date in 1837, that by Thomas Davenport. Hiram Rhodes Revels, a Republican from Mississippi, sworn into the Senate, becoming the first African-American ever to sit in Congress. And note, as I said, Hiram Rhodes Revels was a Republican African-American from Mississippi. J.P. Morgan incorporated the U.S. Steel Corporation on this date in 1901. In 1919, Oregon placed a 1 cent a gallon tax on gasoline, becoming the first state to levy a gas tax. That was back in 1919. In 1925, Glacier Bay National Monument, established in Alaska. It's now Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. The diplomatic relations between Japan and the Soviet Union established on this date in 1925. Charles Jenkins Laboratories of Washington became the first holder of a television license for the Federal Radio Commission back in 1928. Of course, it wasn't television as we would come to know, and it's definitely not what we have today. It was all analog, and I mean really analog. Adolf Hitler obtained German citizenship by naturalization on this date in 1932. It allowed him to run in that year's presidential election. The first Pan American Games held in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1951. Gamal Abdel Nasser named Premier of Egypt in 1954. And in his speech on the personality cult and its consequences, Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev denounced the actions of Joseph Stalin. On this date in 1964, Cassius Clay defeated Sonny Liston in Miami to become world heavyweight champion. Clay after his win.
I hurt him so bad he had to go to the hospital, and I'm still pretty. What you gonna say about that, huh? He's never been stopped. He's never been, oh, I'm so great. Oh, I'm so great. I didn't stop the fight. The doctors had to stop it. Oh, I'm so pretty. I shook up the world. Never write about me like that. Never make me 6 to 1. You just make me angry. Never make me no underdog. And never talk about who's gonna stop me. There ain't nobody gonna stop me. Not a heavyweight in the world fast enough to stop me.
And of course, if that voice sounds familiar, yes, Cassius Clay would become Muhammad Ali. Germany gave $5 million to an Arab terrorist as ransom for the passengers and crew of a hijacked jumbo jet in 1969. The first unit of the Pickering nuclear generating station, the first commercial nuclear power station in Canada, went online on this date in 1969. In 1671, rather. In 1986, President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines fled the nation after 20 years of rule. In 1986, Corazon Aquino became the first Filipino woman president. An Iraqi Scud missile hit an American military barracks in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia on this date in 1991. 28 U.S. Army reservists from Pennsylvania were killed.
It's total. The whole thing's gone. Everybody in it is either wounded or dead.
How many people were inside?
About 130 maybe. There's 53 for sure. That was my unit. They're gone.
That young soldier had to see all of his friends killed. 28 Army reservists from Pennsylvania dying on this date in the Gulf War in 1991. In 1992, Patti LaBelle won her first Grammy Award in the Best Female R&B category. She shared the award with Lisa Fischer in the first tie since 1986, while LaBelle dedicating the award to her late sisters.
This means that my sister can rest in heaven, because before she died, before all my sisters, 3 sisters who died to cancer, and my mother and father, they said, "You got to get that Grammy one year." And when I said this is for them, this is because they always thought I could, I always thought I couldn't, and this is for them. It really means a lot.
Patti LaBelle winning a Grammy on this date in 1992. Mel Gibson's controversial The Passion of the Christ opened on this date in 2002 in theaters. That happened to be Ash Wednesday. While many critics railed against the film's over-the-top brutality, Mel Gibson responded.
I want people to understand the reality of the story. I want them to be taken through an experience. I want them to feel.
In a time when video games are very, very violent, still to this date, the fact that something should be portrayed as realistic rather than fictional, that's too rough for some people to handle. Passion of the Christ opening on this date in 2004. In 2006, the White House announced the Dubai company poised to take off over port operations. Well, they were agreed to a cooling-off period, hoping it would be enough to appease some members of Congress. It didn't do the trick, neither Democrats nor Republicans. As dock workers rallied in Philadelphia against the port deal, Congress refused to back down, and down in Miami, Senator Chuck Schumer pushing ahead with emergency legislation to block the deal.
To allow a company controlled by a country that has had a nexus of terrorism is something that doesn't make much sense.
But then unfettered illegal immigration, that's something that Chuck Schumer certainly is happy about. But that took place on this date in 2006, and I can't disagree with what Congress did or what Schumer said. Just too bad he's not more consistent. It was on this date in 2007, the 79th Academy Awards were handed out in Hollywood, and An Inconvenient Truth, a chronicle of former Vice President Al Gore's campaign to warn the world about global warming, picked up an Oscar for Best Documentary Feature.
I do not have plans to become a candidate for office again. I am involved in a different kind of campaign that I will continue to try to persuade people all over the world, and especially here in my own country, to successfully solve the climate crisis.
Gore speaking backstage at the Kodiak Theater. I'll stay out of it. And it was in 2016, 3 people killed, 14 others injured in a series of shooting in the small Kansas cities of Newton and Heston, not far where I spent a great deal of my life. Passing away on this date in history, poet Thomas More, gangster Bugs Moran, Peyton Place author Grace Metalius, Black Muslim leader Elijah Muhammad, playwright Tennessee Williams, the very delightful James Coco, also Darren McGavin, 13th Surgeon General of the USC Everett Koop, and actor Bill Paxton, all passing away on this date in history. This is the birth date of my George Jim Backus.
Oh, hi, Fay. It's great to see you again. Oh, wait a minute. You're not Mr.
That is correct.
Well, who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself. You are in the presence of the wealthiest man in the universe, Hubert Updike III.
Well, you could have remained seated in your chair. Why do you stand up when you say your name?
Out of respect. I'm in my presence, too.
Well, I must be in the wrong office. I wanted to see the president of NBC.
I am the president of NBC and the owner. Dear old Dad bought it for me for my birthday.
Probably some of the best roles that Jim Backus played were the snooty rich guys. And I guess it would stand him well for his role in Gilligan's Island as Thurston Howell III. Jim Backus, born on this date. That's him with Bob Hope from an episode of The Bob Hope Show, May of 1955. Also born on this date, tenor Enrico Caruso, Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, Actor Zeppo Marx, one of the forgotten Marx brothers. Tennis player Bobby Riggs, bluegrass musician Ralph Stanley, the creator of television's MASH, Larry Gelbart, band leader Tommy Newsom, the sax guy who did such a wonderful job just being himself on the Tonight Show. Farron Young, the Beatles' George Harrison, and race car driver Davey Allison. Sally Jesse Raphael turns 87 today. CBS Bob Sheeper, 85. Ric Flair, woo, is 73 today. Comedian Carrot Top is 57. Actress Téa Leoni is 56. From Lord of the Rings, the son of Patty Duke and John Aston, Sean Aston is 51. Julio Iglesias Jr. is 49. From Parks and Rec, Rashida Jones is 46. She has been working in front of the camera and behind the scenes at both Ring of Honor and Impact. Maria Kanellis Bennett, 40 years of age today. From Malcolm in the Middle, Justin Burfield, 36. And Fred and George Weasley in the Harry Potter films, James and Oliver Phelps, 36. From The Hunger Games, Isabel Furman is 25. And from Bambi 2, Brendan Berg is 24. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 25th day of February is their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And from 69 years ago today, February 25th, 1953, Brian Donlevy, Dangerous Assignment, on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medishare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. Medishare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to Medishare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
The MyPillow.com clearance continues. Roll and go anywhere. MyPillow's $9.99. The Body Pillow $39.99. And MyPillow bath sheets on sale 50% off. Use my promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com/radio specials. You'll also get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book. MyPillow.com/radio specials. Use promo code USA or 1-800-951-8175. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Brian Donlevy's Dangerous Assignment. This was originally broadcast 69 years ago today, February 25th, 1953.
Dangerous Assignment, transcribed starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Yeah, danger is my assignment. I get sent to a lot of places I can't even pronounce. They all spell the same thing, though, trouble. But when I walk into the commissioner's office, I don't realize that this assignment's going to wind up with my life getting saved because I shoot my only friend in the deal. Morning, Commissioner. You sent for me?
You're going after a black market operation this trip, Steve. An operation that's unbalancing the entire Mediterranean economy and therefore seriously hampering recovery and defense.
Sounds like a king-sized organization.
We're convinced it's run by one man, an international criminal, but we've never been able to run him down. We're convinced, too, that he originally financed the project with money secured through various jewel robberies. Yesterday, the French Sûreté picked up a man named Dugas in Marseille. Monsieur Dugas is a jeweler.
Also a fence?
No, he claims his job was simply to break down the stolen jewelry. Get over there, Steve. Check with Inspector Bichot of the Sûreté. Dugas is the only link we have to the black market organization. Track down this lead. Get to that organization. Smash it. Well, that's it. You've got your assignment. Good luck.
The National Broadcasting Company is presenting Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy in the role of Steve Mitchell, colorful two-fisted government agent. At all those places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another Dangerous Assignment.
Sure, I've got my assignment. Get over to Marseille, find out what I can about a jeweler named Dugas, and hope the information leads me to the top man heading the black market organization operating along the entire Mediterranean area. It's early Wednesday afternoon when my plane lands, and I hurry over to police headquarters. A few minutes later, I'm in a huddle with Inspector Bichot of the French Sûreté.
I am inclined to believe Dugas' story, Monsieur Mitchell. We found this in his shop. A letter.
Dated 2 days ago.
And the envelope bears the postmark of Nice.
According to this letter, Dugas is going to receive a package by the end of the week. A necklace.
Oui, and there at the bottom of the page is a rough sketch of the necklace with instructions how it is to be broken down.
Have you received a report of its being stolen?
No. But we sent a description of the necklace to all the leading jewelry firms in Europe. 2 hours ago, we received a reply from the house of Figeac in Paris.
And they've identified the bracelet?
Yes. It belongs to the Countess Navarre.
She by any chance staying in Nice at present?
That is correct. She has a villa there.
You know, Inspector, it's possible that necklace hasn't been stolen yet.
Quite. We have been informed there is to be a gala reception at the villa tonight. And, of course, the Countess will wear her necklace.
Look, could you arrange for me to get an invite to this little soiree, Inspector?
I will arrange everything, monsieur. But a word of caution. If your attention is distracted but for a moment...
Yeah, I might miss the play entirely and our friend might get away. Look, maybe we'd better change our plans.
Oh? In what way, monsieur?
Maybe we should arrange it so that the thief would have to come after me.
Huh? You intend to steal the necklace yourself?
Well, I'll admit my technique is a little rusty, but...
I see. Yes, the thief watching the Countess closely would most certainly observe the theft, would follow you when you left the villa, huh?
Yeah, and that way I might get to his boss, the head of the black market outfit. It's worth a try. What do you say, Inspector?
Oh, why not, monsieur? Why not, eh?
The inspector and I go over our plans in detail. We cover all the angles, including my rusty technique. While the inspector makes a phone call, I hurry down to Dugas' cell, and we have a chat. He can't give me any more information than the inspector already has, so I mush on. 10 minutes later, I stroll into a small bakery shop not far from police headquarters. The proprietor, a small, dapper gent, greets me.
Good afternoon, monsieur.
You, Paul Bizac?
At your service.
I'm Steve Mitchell. Inspector Bichot telephoned you.
Ah, mais oui. You are the pupil, eh? Bien, come this way. I have a small apartment in the rear of the shop. You will not be disturbed there.
You must be pretty good, Bizac. The inspector gave you a high recommendation.
Good, monsieur. I was in my prime considered the best in my profession. Then, alas, the Sûreté made me see the error of my ways. I paid my debt to society, and now I am a beggar. A very good one, monsieur.
I don't doubt that.
In him. The inspector tells me you have had some training?
Well, in a way, yeah.
Forget it.
Huh?
Forget all you have learned. We start from the beginning, the Bizac method. Now, the item you are to appropriate is a necklace, eh?
That's right.
Yeah. This string of beads will serve as a necklace. Now, a moment and I will turn on the victrola. There. Now, may I have this waltz, monsieur?
What? Hey, look, I didn't come here for a dancing lesson.
But, monsieur, you will be dancing with a lady when you remove her necklace.
Oh.
Shall we dance?
Okay. Who leads? So I spend the rest of the afternoon waltzing around the back room of the bakery shop with the next jewel thief, and it doesn't take long to catch on to the routine, particularly when you're being coached by a sleight of hand artist like Paul Bizac. Finally, he seems to think I've earned my diploma, and he hands me a tiny pair of snippers.
Please, monsieur, you will keep well hidden in your hand. At the right moment, snip. The necklace is yours. And remember, the sleeve work is important. That is where the amateur generally fails, the sleeve work.
I'll remember, Professor.
You have been a most excellent pupil. It has been a pleasure.
Thanks. Oh, by the way, here's your wallet.
My wallet? Bien, monsieur, bien. You learn fast.
Not bad, eh?
Not bad at all, monsieur. Here, monsieur.
Hey, my credentials.
Good afternoon, monsieur.
Looks like turnabout is fair play, doesn't it? From February 25th, 1953, Brian Donlevy, Dangerous Assignment here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Do me a favor, thank this station and support their advertisers. We really appreciate them carrying the show, and we never forget how their kindness and courtesy helps us be here each and every time. Drop McCarter a letter. It really means a lot. You would really be surprised how much. We will continue with this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with the news from 69 years ago today. But first, this important word from your favorite station.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Our Friday presentation, Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy, as it was originally broadcast on Wednesday, February 25th, 1953, in the newspapers of that Wednesday, 69 years ago. These were some of the headlines. Allied raiders striking with flamethrowers and automatic weapons and supported by tanks burned and shot up 2 red strongholds on the Western Korean front today. Other UN troops smashed back a heavy 3-hour assault on the Central Front. Headquarters saying the fights cost the Reds heavily. President Eisenhower yesterday welcomed UN delegates back to the 7th General Assembly with a message expressing hope that the UN will be an instrument effective, increasingly, of peace. Former Senator Robert M. La Follette Jr., member of a famous Wisconsin political dynasty, shot himself to death in his home in Washington yesterday. He was reported to have been despondent over a heart ailment. President Eisenhower will fly to Augusta, Georgia for a weekend of golf at the famed and challenging Augusta National Golf Club. That, according to the White House yesterday. Press Secretary James C. Hagerty said Mrs. Eisenhower would make the trip with her husband in the White House Constellation, the newly named Columbine. The president will return to the Capitol late Sunday. The State Department yesterday suspended Alfred H. Morton, head of its Voice of America's operations in New York, after he opposed an order banning the propaganda use of material by communists and fellow travelers. Morton's suspension disclosed shortly after the White House announced that Dr. Robert L. Johnson, president of Temple University, will head the department's Foreign Information Division, which includes the controversial Voice counter-propaganda program. Interior Secretary Douglas McKay, spelling out the administration's stand on Tidelands legislation, urged Congress yesterday to give coastal states title to submerged lands only out to their historic boundaries. 2 Alabama highway patrolmen revived a horse by artificial respiration. Credit for saving the animal's life goes to H.L. Reynolds, an ex-farmer who heads the patrol's stock law enforcement detail, and Curtis Simpson. It all came about when they were trying to pick up the stray on a highway recently. The horse proved balky, the rope on its neck drew tighter than intended, and the animal slumped to the ground unconscious. Reynolds and Simpson grabbed hold at opposite ends and started rocking back and forth in an approved method for getting a horse's lungs pumping again. And even after the reviving, the horse still spirited enough to throw a convict helper from its back. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Wednesday, February 25th, 1953, on your radio, Dangerous Assignment, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Over here, Inspector.
Monsieur Mitchell. Bien, you're on time. That is your plane over there. It leaves in a few moments.
How long will it take me to get to Nice?
You should arrive by 7 o'clock. At precisely 8 o'clock, you will enter the grounds of the villa. Proceed to the rear of the house. Somebody will meet you there. An American named Kimbrough. He is well known along the Riviera. He will see to it that you meet the right people. The rest, monsieur, is up to you.
Okay, Inspector. Thanks for everything.
Bon chance, monsieur. Bon chance. And be careful,
Everything goes according to schedule. At 7 o'clock, I land at Nice. At the hotel, I slip into my suit and fish, and a few minutes after 8, I stroll into the grounds of the villa. My contact, lean, lanky Jim Kimbrough, hustles me into the villa via the kitchen, and we finally wind up in the ballroom.
This where the rat race takes place, Steve.
Nice crowd. You know most of them?
No, a few new faces, like that sultry-looking little doll over there, dancing with the tall gent in the fez. Her name's Felicia Belfano. You'll want to meet her.
Yeah, be a pleasure.
Yeah, you'll also want to meet the guy she's dancing with, Alex Carino. He's new around here.
Where's the Countess?
Hasn't come down yet. Just waiting till everybody's here so she can make la grande entrance, I guess.
Ah, Jimmy, Jim. How nice to see you again.
Hello, Bertie. Steve Mitchell, Justin Bernard.
Pleasure, Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Bernard?
Such a long time it has been, eh, Jim?
Yeah, Monte Carlo, wasn't it, Bernie?
Oh, please. Don't remind me of that.
My luck was lousy, too.
Jimmy, my boy, a small favor, huh?
How much?
Oh, no. You misunderstand. The young lady you were dancing with a short time ago. Over there.
Felicia?
Oh, Felicia. It's a beautiful name. Beautiful.
You want an introduction?
I would be eternally in your debt, Jimmy.
Okay, pal. See what I can do.
Good boy. Au revoir, Mr. Mitchell.
So long, Mr. Bernard.
He's a wolf boy, Steve. He collects objects d'art and dolls. Live ones, that is.
I guess that. His fangs were showing.
Well, come on, let's circulate.
So we circulate, and through Jim Kimbrough, I meet practically everyone who is anyone on the Riviera. An hour goes by, and still no sign of the Countess. I'm beginning to get a little worried when finally she makes her grand entrance, and all of a sudden my clever little plan doesn't look so clever.
Hey, Steve, do you see what I see?
Yeah, she isn't wearing the necklace. My schedule falls apart right here.
Something's gone wrong, that's for sure. Hey, wait a minute, look over there.
Yeah, Felicia Belfano heading up the stairs. Come on, let's tail her. When we get to the second floor, Felicia is nowhere in sight. While Kimbrough cases the corridor, I slip into the Countess's room. There's a jewelry box on her dressing table and the necklace. Suddenly, I get the feeling I'm not alone in the room. I scoop up the necklace, ease out onto the balcony, and climb down the ivy-covered wall. A few minutes later, I'm out on the street. I grab a cab, and as we pull away, I look out the rear window. On the grounds of the villa, a pair of car lights are suddenly switched on. The car comes down the driveway and starts trailing my cab. I know I'm in business.
Steve Mitchell will continue his dangerous assignment in just a moment.
February 25th, 1953, Dangerous Assignment on Friday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
What does it mean to be an American? Just what are our American values? Working hard to succeed, loving God, country, and family, being honest, strong, and compassionate.
Supporting our Constitution and recognizing that we are blessed to be living in America, the greatest country in the world.
Our Bill of Rights protects us, our freedoms of worship, speech, and privacy, our right to own firearms, our right to trial by jury,
our right to be free, to live our own lives without some bureaucrat telling us what to do. Most countries don't have these rights.
Want to know more? It's all there in the book. Get your own free book, The U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Then read it again, and this time share it with your friends. Our great Constitution is the basis of all of our freedoms, our inalienable rights. Get your own copy at freeusbook.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
On Saturday, we'll head out west. Raymond Burr with an episode of Fort Laramie from 66 years ago, February 26, 1956. The Captain's Wife. Captain Winter's widow has come out west to retrieve her husband's body and nearly starts an Indian war. That's on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater. But now let's wrap this Friday episode up. The conclusion of Dangerous Assignment starring Brian Donlevy 69 years ago, February 25th, 1953.
Now back to Dangerous Assignment and Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Well, so far the operation hasn't gone quite according to plan, but the net result is the same. I've got the Countess's necklace and somebody's following me. Probably the jewel thief, who could be pretty burned up that I beat him to it. So if I play my cards right and find out who he or she is, I may be able to get to the boss, the gent who's running the black market outfit. I head for my hotel and go to the bar. A plainclothes cop gives me a nod and slides out of one of the booths. I slide in. I reach down. There's a slit under the seat. I slip the necklace in. Then I settle down and wait. I don't have to wait long.
Hello.
Oh, Miss Belfano, isn't it?
Felicio Belfano. We met at the Countess Villa.
Yeah, sit down.
Thank you. It is a surprise seeing you here.
Is it?
Yes, I did not know we were staying at the same hotel.
Oh, you're staying here too, huh? Quite a coincidence.
No, not a coincidence. I was a late arrival here in Nice. The other hotels were filled.
I see. You're on vacation?
No, not exactly. I'm a dancer on tour. They wanted me to perform at the contests, but suddenly I decided to leave.
Oh?
A most persistent and annoying man named Bernard kept after me.
Oh, yeah, the boy wolf.
But I must say I'm quite disappointed in this place, Steve.
Oh, I don't know. There are quite a few things to do around here if you know the right places.
And the right people, huh? Maybe I have not been with the right people.
Maybe. That big fellow with the fez you were talking to at the countess is a friend of yours?
Alex? Casual acquaintance. But I believe we were speaking of excitement, things to do with the right people.
Like to see for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, let's go, Felicia.
Let me go up and change first, huh? I'll only be a moment.
She heads out of the bar. After a second or two, I get up from the booth and ease over to the door just in time to see her stop at the magazine counter and exchange a few words with a guy who's been standing there real casual-like. It's Alex, the big guy in the fez. Felicia goes up the stairs, and I go back to my booth. 2 minutes later, I've got company again.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Huh? Oh, I believe we met at the party earlier this evening.
To be sure. I am Alex Carinos. And you are...
Steve Mitchell.
To be sure.
Sit down.
Thank you. But I will not stay.
You bored with the party, too?
Not exactly. I was, as a matter of fact, enjoying myself to the utmost until a charming young friend of mine left suddenly.
Oh?
The night is young, Mr. Mitchell. If you are a stranger here, perhaps I could show you some of the attractions of the place. Huh?
Why, thanks, Alex, but I sort of have a date.
In that case, allow me to congratulate you on your good fortune.
Why, thanks. I hope it is.
Who is it?
Steve Mitchell.
Come in, Steve.
Hey, what's the deal, Felicia? I thought we were going to do the town together. I've been waiting down in that bar 15 minutes. Alex is long gone, and... Hey, what's the matter? What are you staring at?
Steve.
Don't move. What? I'm right behind you.
Yeah. So's that gun of yours. Who are you?
I will ask the questions for the moment. Where's the necklace?
I don't wear necklaces.
Don't waste my time. It is not in the room. It's not on the girl. Therefore, if the two of you are in it together, you must have it.
Look,
Steve, I don't understand any of this. What is he talking about?
You understand that if you'll turn over the necklace, we can perhaps make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
My name is Sargo. I'm an insurance investigator.
Oh?
My company sent me to investigate the many jewel robberies along the Riviera. I was knocked unconscious near the Contessa's room. When I recovered, the necklace was gone. I learned that you and this young lady had left the party. I traced you here. Now, the necklace.
I don't have it.
You will allow me to find it out for myself. I will search you. And please stand very still.
Wait a minute.
I said stand still.
This is no good. He's sure to find my credentials and comment on them. If Felicia is in on the deal, that'll blow it sky high. I can't risk it. I whirl, knock his gun to one side with my elbow and flatten him. Oh.
Steve, you did steal the necklace?
Look, we better split up. Meet me down at the waterfront. The small pier farthest east, 15 minutes. We can talk about the necklace and what we're going to do with the money, huh? I duck out of a room down the back stairs and through a few assorted alleys to the waterfront. I wait on the pier in the shadows for about 20 minutes. Then I hear somebody coming. Okay, hold it.
Steve.
Hey, Jim Kimbrough.
Oh, brother, you scared me out of 5 years' growth.
Wait a minute. What are you doing here? How come you knew about the meeting place?
Well, I came to tell you, Felicia's on the level. She's not involved in the deal.
How do you know?
Well, as soon as you left her hotel room, she called the police. Told them you wanted to meet her here.
Oh, great. Well, that leaves me fresh out of leads for the moment.
Yeah.
That's far enough, gentlemen.
Well, hello, Alex.
You would not accept my invitation to accompany me earlier, but this is a much better opportunity anyway. The necklace, please.
He moves closer to frisk me. Suddenly, Kimbrough hacks the gun out of his hand. I scoop it up, then I get an idea. I may need Kimbrough later, and I want him on the loose. I wink at him. He gets the message. I point the gun slightly to one side of him and pull the trigger. He does a real convincing job of it. Alex's eyes almost pop out.
You shot your own partner.
Ex-partner. He was getting grabby, wanted half of the take from the necklace.
Oh, yeah, I can see you are not one to trifle with. Good, good. Then we can perhaps make a deal. And I will not ask for half. I will be satisfied with quarter.
You're in no position to make a deal. I've already got the necklace.
But you are a marked man, Mr. Mitchell. First a jewel theft, now a murder. You'll probably not get out of Nice alive. Unless, of course, I could arrange safe passage, which I can, thanks to certain connections.
Maybe you've got a point. Anyway, we can talk about it.
We can talk at my apartment.
Why not at your boss's place?
I am now my own boss.
Oh?
Come.
So, you were in the Countess's room when I lifted the necklace, huh, Alex? You know, I thought I felt somebody watching me.
Oh, you can imagine my rage. I had planned it carefully. After I knocked the guard unconscious and hit his body, I slipped into the room. Then you came, and I had to hide. Here's my apartment.
Where are the lights?
I will get them. There. Bernard.
Hey.
Yes, Bernard.
Bernard!
Getting rid of your stooge, huh?
You could not have put it better, Mitchell.
So the amateur wolf has sharper teeth than I figured. You're the boy who's running the black market setup.
Exactly.
One thing I don't get, why'd you have Alex keep on the jewel robberies after you got enough dough to start the black market operation?
Continuing the thefts was his own idea. I told him to stop and leave the area. He did not obey. Now he's dead, and you are next.
You forget I have the necklace hidden.
You forget I'm not interested in the necklace. I only wish to close your mouth.
Suddenly I spot somebody outside the window on the fire escape. It's Kimbrough. He tries to ease the window open, but it makes a little noise. Bernard whirls toward it. I lunge at Bernard, knock the gun away, but he gives me the knee and sends me sprawling into Kimbrough. We both hit the floor. Bernard runs out of the room. We scramble to our feet and follow.
There he goes upstairs, Steve, heading for the roof.
We pound up after him, chase him across the roof. He reaches the edge and then dives across at the next roof.
He's not going to make it.
His hands clutch the edge frantically, but he can't hold on. Brother. Well, that's that.
Yeah. I thought that dive I took when you staged that fake shooting was something. But it didn't compare with Bernard's just now.
No, it sure didn't, Jim. I guess you might say the black market just hit the bottom.
Our star, Brian Donlevy, will return in a moment. To combat heart disease, this nation's leading cause of death, two things are essential for further progress. First, there must be broader knowledge of the heart diseases. We do not know the exact cause of high blood pressure and hardening of the arteries. The causes of congenital heart defects are only beginning to be understood. The origin of rheumatic fever is still a mystery. Obviously, research must be pressed in these fields. Also, there must be fuller application of existing knowledge. This means education of the public as well as the medical profession. It also means more community heart programs. These are the aims of the 1953 Heart Fund. Because it affects you and your community so seriously, this is your problem. Our scientists must be furnished the tools to fight this common enemy. Won't you give to fight heart disease? Send your contribution to HEART, H-E-A-R-T, HEART, care of your post office in your community.
Next week, Bavaria, a manhunt, and a woman.
And that will be Steve Mitchell's dangerous assignment next week. Included in tonight's cast were Tony Barrett, Hal Gerard, Dan Riss, Paul Duboff, and Betty Lou Gerson. This is John Storm speaking. Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell, with Herb Butterfield as the commissioner, is written by Bob Reif and Adrian Jondot, and is directed by Bill Karn. Be with us again next week at this time, when Brian Donlevy, starring in the role of Steve Mitchell, will embark on another transcribed Dangerous Assignment.
From 69 years ago, February 25th, 1953, Dangerous Assignment on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you do me a favor? If you're on social media, find us on social media. All of our links are at classicradio.stream, and share the information about our shows. I would really appreciate that. And please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here. We thank these stations, and a card to them would be really very, very much appreciated, not only by me, but by them. I mentioned our webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. Contact me there as well, classicradio.stream. Our shows are also available on demand through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Friday. Have a great weekend. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.